Brian Rob, J. King, and Sam Packard present Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle, Boston Celtics, Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle. Oh yeah! Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle, Boston Celtics, Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle. And a 19. Jalen Brown, D. White, Crazy Joe. Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle. With Tatum coming back. Steel Bottle, Steel Bottle. Steel bottle, steel bottle, Boston Celtics, steel bottle, steel bottle. Oh yeah!
Come on, don't get the next generation. 48 guy wants to win. There's no time.
Let's go, you motherfucking Celtics. Let's go, baby. Let's go, you motherfucking Celtics. Let's go.
Welcome back to Still Bottom, the best Celtics podcast here on Al Gore's Internet. I am Sam Jam Packard, joined from The Athletic, the kid, the god, the legend himself, beat reporter Jay King. This is a potable post-game show. We're coming to you after the Celtics dropped their third game in four, 98-96. Derrick White's game winner bounces off the back rim. And Jay, I thought this was a putrid offensive performance by the Boston Celtics. They just couldn't get three-pointers to fall. They weren't really getting into the paint. Second game in a row, they score under 100 points, and it seemed they really struggled, especially on the offensive end, without Jalen Brown in this game.
Yeah, I thought, first half, Peyton Pritchard was just off. He was getting to his spots and just missing a lot of shots he's hit all season. The three-pointers just didn't fall, and maybe that's partly because Jalen wasn't there to draw so much attention, open guys up, free things up. But it was just kind of a game where, like you said, points were more difficult than usual for the Celtics to manufacture. They finished 9 for 35 from behind the arc. It's going to be tough to win, especially when you don't have Jalen to provide all the drives that he does, all the mid-range that he does, the free throws that he normally does, though, as he pointed out, not last game. And this Pacers team, as bad as their record is, the group that they threw out there tonight is at least semi-respectable. They got Nembhard back, they got Nesmith back. They're trending toward what they used to be. Obviously, Halliburton's not going to play this season, but there are a lot of guys on that court tonight that played real minutes for them. And Siakam, just closed out the Celtics. That was a tough shot he hit over the Nemi contest on that last Pacers possession.
Do you think it was an offensive foul on the screen he set before he got the ball? Because Derrick White did go flying. I'm trying to determine how much of a homer I was on that.
Yeah, I didn't watch it back, but I mean, for a moving screen to be called on the final possession or in the final 10 seconds of a game, it should have to be a near-death experience out there. So I would say no.
He did look like he was dying.
I do not think that was an offensive foul. But honestly, Derrick got back to Siakam. It wasn't the screen that did it. Derrick was there and Siakam made a good move, and there probably just wasn't enough help.
I thought Nene was late on the help there once Siakam got the elbow around him, but that's obviously doing some Monday evening quarterbacking.
Yeah, and you don't want to leave somebody for a layup on the final possession either. It was a tough shot Siakam hit, a 8-foot floater bank shot over the top of a center coming for a contest. So where I would have maybe liked to see it is when he went into a spin move, and Siakam loves the spin move. When he went into a spin move, maybe Jordan Walsh coming with some help, but he was able to spin around White, create some separation, and then just loft a floater over the top of Nemi. And I mean, I say send a double, then maybe you leave somebody wide open for a game-winning three, and you look like an idiot, and I look like an idiot.
There were some possessions earlier in that quarter where I thought they doubled, and the Pacers did a good job of passing out of that. Pacers had 29 assists tonight. I think and they were really pinging the ball around and kind of slicing and dicing the Celtics, especially there, I think in the early third quarter. The thing that maybe is of slight concern to me is the Celtics fan. They've lost their last 3 games by a total of 11 points. So like very close games, but the clutch offense, I feel like it's a go-to talking point anytime you lose a close game. But it feels like the Celtics, who are very reliant on mid-range shooting and in the clutch, it just feels like it's harder to come up with those shots. Jalen not on the court tonight, but I just didn't think they, other than the Derrick White look to tie the game, to go for the 2-for-1, it didn't feel like they got any sort of easy baskets down the stretch. And then the Jordan Walsh had a nice pass out to the wide open Peyton Pritchard. But like in the half court, nothing was easy from the Celtics tonight. It was a lot of just like relying on Pritchard and Derrick White to try and generate offense. And Derrick White just frankly didn't have a good enough game.
Yeah, and he had the great finish to tie the game where Joe called a timeout with, 32 or 33 seconds to try to get the 2-for-1. And he went straight line drive past Aaron Nesmith, created contact, got the separation. Nesmith's a good defender, a big defender, a lot of size, strength. Just kind of bodied him, handled that really nicely, tied the game. Got a decent look on the final possession, though not a great one, especially down to, maybe put a little pressure on the rim, but it wasn't a terrible look. But you have 5.1 seconds left. I would have preferred to see them try to get something that wasn't an off the dribble 3 from well behind the arc, but obviously White can make that, and with an inbound situation with just a few seconds left, like for the most part, you're going to be shooting a contested shot, a tough shot. And without Jalen, like he's their guy especially in limited clock situations, who you'd probably want to be taking that. Pritchard can get that off, but with 5 seconds left, like his size could be an issue.
I thought the Pacers did a good job of blowing up like the Pritchard running from the backcourt. Like that wasn't an immediate option off the pass, where we've seen the Celtics do that before on late out of bounds plays. But it just was like they didn't. And here's the tough thing: like Simons gave him a little bit of pop off the bench, but were you going to put Simons in that closing lineup given his kind of just defensive limitations? It feels like these are some moments where they don't have a lot of like two-way wings, where Walsh isn't your best offensive guy, but you obviously want him in there for defense because he's going to be guarding Siakam. Simons is helping you out on the offensive end, but you can't really put him in on the defense. And so they've gotten kind of good wing production all year, but there's not a solid, like, this is the obvious closing lineup right now. And especially with Jalen out, there's just one guy down. We saw Shireman got the start today. I thought he was fine, but he's not an offensive threat really at this point. He's just kind of a hustle defense guy. But, Simons had 16 off the bench, but it didn't seem like he had much of an impact late.
Yeah. And like the whole last few minutes were just kind of helter-skelter on both sides.
It was ugly. It was a dog shit close to this game. It was an ugly, ugly basketball game to finish.
It was like such a just disjointed, gross ending. I thought the one really nice play was when Jordan Walsh tracked down Siakam and got the steal. And then on the other end, cut to the paint, got a pass and instantly redirected it to Pritchard at the 3-point arc for 3. That was a huge play. And I mean, Celtics played pretty good defense, forced a couple of Nembhard misses late. Like you can't fault the defense too much for what they did, but it was kind of just a weird, gross back and forth there. And it felt very strange because a lot of the time in NBA games, like there's just a lot of stoppages late. And this one was just like back and forth, like free flowing. And I guess it was because neither team called a timeout. Neither team was making shots.
No fouls either. It was just no stoppages. And
there was just no stoppages. It was very, very unlike a lot of NBA endings. And I thought earlier in the third quarter was where the Celtics really lost it. They gave up a 15-2 run, and there was one play when Joe literally called timeouts on back-to-back plays. It was like he called one, and then they didn't score, and then gave up a bucket, and then he called another one, and he was clearly just kind of searching, and they never really found it.
They didn't know what to do with Jay Huff. It was just like his shooting, and Nemi had a decent game, but he looked kind of gassed at the end. But they didn't have a real answer for his like pick and pop ability. I think Huff had 20 points and was a plus 20 in this game, and a plus 13 in that third quarter, only in that first kind of 6 minutes. But yeah, Jay Huff. Well, what did you mean when you said Jay Huff has Coach K's dunk package?
Coach K college basketball. You're probably a little too young for that game. So it was a Sega Genesis game in, I think it was like 1995. And players would just like kind of float through the air and like spin and dunk.
He does reverse dunks.
Oh, and it's like he's floating and he holds the ball like with one arm way above him and just like spins in the air. And it's so much like how they did it in Coach K college basketball. I tried to look briefly on YouTube to find like the type of dunk that I was talking about and found a whole bunch of Coach K college basketball clips, which was awesome. But a lot of them were like full games, and I wasn't going to watch a full Coach K college basketball game.
Who uploads a full
just to try to get the type of dunk I was looking at? But he has like such a unique style of dunking that is unlike anything except Coach K college basketball. More importantly, tonight, I thought was just his floor spacing. He's shooting 30.6% from three, but that's probably misleading. Like he's a 36% career shooter. He was a shooter in college. They've been playing without point guards for a lot of this year, so the quality of shots just probably hasn't been there that he's now getting now that Nembhard is back and McConnell is playing. And so I thought the Celtics just kind of left him open at first, and then he got to feeling it.
And then the Pacers did a good job of passing the ball around once they did get a little bit extra space because were stepping to it. I think there's one replay they showed where it's like Nemi was going for the roll man. Hauser rotated all the way over and it just left the guy wide open in the corner. Like once they started having to worry about Huff, I thought the Pacers, who have been just a good passing team over the past 3 seasons, did a good job of pinging the ball around and generating open threes. Pacers knocked down 16 threes tonight, and they're not really a good 3-point shooting team, but I thought they generated a lot of good looks for themselves.
And again, like they haven't been a good 3-point shooting team, but I think everything changes when you have point guards. Like obviously McConnell's not going to shoot a ton of threes, and Nembhard, by the percentages, at least in the regular season, like doesn't shoot super well, but it changes the quality of like just having competent play at that position. It just changes a lot, and they play faster with those guys. They know what they're doing. Neesmith is back, so that's a huge deal for their 3-point shooting. So it's not the team that like the numbers say is such a bad 3-point shooting team. That said, this was like one of their top tied for 5th most 3-pointers they hit all season. It was one of 11, 12, 13 games that they've had now shooting at least 40% from behind the arc. They were 43% tonight, which is one of their 7 best games of the season. So it was probably some bad shot luck for the Celtics, including Huff. And I hate the word shot luck because like you just got to make them.
Would you rather me say it's a make or miss league?
It was a make or miss. It is a make or miss league, and it was a make or miss game.
And that's the thing. The Celtics shot 9 of 35 from 3, so just over 25%. And they just didn't make it up in any really other aspect of the game. Rebounds are pretty even. Celtics win 46-40. They didn't turn the Pacers over. They didn't win the rebounding battle. They didn't really, like we said, not a lot of free throws in this game. But when you're at that kind of deficit from the 3-point line, you got to find some other way to kind of win on the margins. And the Celtics just didn't do any of that tonight. because it was kind of an ugly, sloppy game.
Yeah, I thought this was a good Jordan Walsh game though, and like the energy, the rebounding. He had the one play. I think it was, I don't know how many minutes there were left, but he caught it on the right wing and probably could have taken a three, but drove at Huff instead and finished a layup over him. Just a pretty good Jordan Walsh game, which is good to see because like he had the one good game when he came after he got put on the bench, but other than that, he hasn't really played at the level he did earlier in the season for a while now. So it was good to see him get going a little bit. Simons had a great first half. Like when he catches fire, he just really goes. And there was a stretch in that second quarter when he got it going a little bit, but they didn't really get stops during that stretch. And they could have created some separation instead. Simons gets hot and you don't really benefit from it too much. I thought Garza helped bring him back too after that disastrous beginning to the third quarter. Just his energy, his offensive rebounding. I thought he had a pretty good game too, but not enough good performances. And like I said, this is not like the Pacers record is not indicative of the type of team they'll be when they have Siakam, Nembhard, Nesmith, and McConnell and Shepard and those guys all playing.
Yeah, I mean, the Pacers have now won 3 in a row. Celtics, like I said, have lost 3 of their last 4. I don't think there's really a cause for concern. It's all been kind of close games. You expect them to win this one. You expect them to beat the Nuggets without Jokic, but those are both like teams with good infrastructure, and especially in a game where Jalen takes the night off, you just kind of needed more scoring, but it just the shots weren't there for these Celtics. That's all I got to say. I know you have like 3 other random notes of basketball plays that you watched in this game that you want to talk about. So let's hear them.
I didn't have really many random notes. Peyton Pritchard was just like absolutely dusting Jay Huff for a little while.
Peyton Pritchard came out aggressive. He knew that he needed to score in this game. Like the early part of this game was just Peyton Pritchard kind of playing a little bit reckless, but I liked it.
And then Tony Bradley came in, and Tony Bradley, like, not always great at basketball.
You've been a huge Tony Bradley naysayer over the years, and he came in and had a great stint in the fourth quarter. Peyton Pritchard could not dribble past him.
He was trying to split
every time
tried to coverage and just getting the ball knocked away. And Nemi tried to go at Tony Bradley with like some spin move in the lane, and
that was absurd.
Tony Bradley would not let it happen. It was a good Tony Bradley stint. I'm not gonna lie. I will give Tony Bradley credit where credit's due. Tony Bradley was ready tonight. Tony Bradley came in and he helped matters. I thought Joe, that the way that he joked about Jaylen Brown's official complaints was pretty funny before the game. That was good stuff.
Do you care to explain to the listeners the joke, or are you just going to tell us that it was funny?
Yeah, so Joe basically sarcastically said, "Yeah, I told Jaylen you can't have a game where you have 13 free throws and then come back the next night and have 0. Like, you just got to be better than that." And then said that he hurt his back getting so many free throws the other night, or getting fouled so much the other night, I believe was the other quote. So that's
Joe,
funny stuff.
Keeping it light. That's some athlete humor. Jaylen Brown fined $35,000, an extra $10,000 because he asked for the fine, which I thought
he
was
demanded the fine,
and he got it. So
that fine was probably a long time coming. He's been going at the refs consistently most of the season. Like every other game, not every other game, but every week or so, he is just taking aim at the ref, and not the refs weren't happy. The refs weren't happy with getting shitted on, especially calling out the guy by
You can't
name.
call out a guy by name.
Then he went on Twitter and retweeted Jack Simone's
Clip
video.
package, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think was the biggest indictment. Like it wasn't like the most obvious of fouls. So I don't know if he had the best case, but that's why you play the games. Celtics.
I really didn't think it was like.
No, it was just kind of a standard basketball game. But I guess he was frustrated. He gets the night off. The Celtics had 3 games in 4 nights. They get 2 nights off before continuing this road trip with the Heat, the Hawks, and the Pistons. We'll be there to cover all those games. We appreciate everyone who tuned in on.
Hold on.
You told me you didn't have much to say.
Yeah, but we got some rumors, bro. What
Bro,
are your
we
thoughts?
have 2 more days to podcast.
What are your thoughts
about
on Daniel Gafford, bro?
I don't want Daniel Gafford anywhere near this basketball franchise. He is a mid-big who is wildly too expensive.
That's all you got?
Don't waste the podcast fodder. We have 2 more podcasts before we got another game. Why are we going to blow
B-Rob's
our
getting
wad
a
on?
guest. Didn't you listen to the group chat? B-Rob's getting a guest. You're not even going to be involved.
We can't shoot our Gafford wad too early.
You got to get your Gafford takes off of your chest.
I told you
right
my Gafford take. You didn't even like it.
I never said I didn't like it. I said, is that all you got?
Tell me what more I need to know about Daniel Gafford.
What about Kristaps Porzingis? Are you excited for the Kristaps Porzingis reunion later this week?
Is he going to play?
Who knows? Who knows? It's hard to tell sometimes with Kristaps.
I'm more excited for the Monday night game against the Pistons, a true test of Eastern Conference opponents. And maybe it will, and the game in Miami will be interesting because playing in Miami is always more difficult than it should be.
Yeah, it sure is. Miami.
Jay, that reminds me of one time you and I were at a game in Miami and we went out to dinner, I think with Himmelsbach, and you Euro stepped every single light pole that we walked past for what must have been like a 25-minute walk, but every single one you Euro stepped. And I was like, oh, this man's built different.
Yeah. So did you see how many people were hating on me in my Twitter mentions today?
No. What did you say? Was it about the lady in Jacksonville?
Yeah.
I knew it would happen.
So we could talk about it. We could talk about it for just a minute or so. Because I don't think people really care about my takes on the media. But however, I released a take on that situation, and the responses were just shitting on me. There's some people actually like try to talk to me and have a real conversation, and we got places together. We advanced the conversation. We were
Society was bettered by you
just
guys
having heart to hearts. Yeah. But other people were just shitting on me. But one guy in particular found, like, he must have Googled like my college basketball career and sent a
pulling up the Skidmore stats.
Sent a screenshot of the AI, like, you know, that when you Google it and it shows like the AI summary. And I was not upset with it. It said that I didn't produce much, but also said like I was a good shooter. AI let it be known that I was a good shooter.
Yeah, because you were like 3 for 4.
Doesn't matter. AI knows that I could shoot, and yeah, I was. Plus, was that guy college basketball player? Probably not. Odds are against it. Who knows?
You look up the AI on him?
No, absolutely not. But I was. People were just taking me down, and that lifted me right back up when I saw that the AI machine knows that I could shoot. That's just beautiful stuff.
When you hit send on that tweet, did you know you were like signing up for a day in the mud? Because I feel like you do this like every 3 weeks of just like you send something a little bit inflammatory because it just gets your juices flowing.
I honestly, I should have, but I just kind of sent it off the cuff and not even thinking really. And honestly, like, it wasn't her. Like, if she had just done that, I never would have said anything.
It was the celebration of it by like the league.
It was Adam Schefter coming out and being like, "This is awesome." It's like,
There's nothing that grinds the beat reporter gear more than homerism in the media setting. I've been around a lot of beat reporters after the last 10 years of covering the Celtics, and nothing grinds that gear more than someone who's a little bit too much of the riding for the home team and does it publicly. The looks that go around the media room when that happens.
And honestly, I could appreciate that it was a very nice sentiment from her. She seemed like a very nice woman. There's that moment itself is not going to ruin anything, or I don't think.
I saw people going off on it's wasting all of the time in the media room, and then I saw someone.
Yeah, that part is just too much.
They broke down
she talked for 15 seconds,
and the total presser was 6 minutes, and it was a bunch of bad questions, and no one else. 3 people asked questions. It's not a big deal at all. It's just wild that it got publicized as this is an amazing moment. I don't know. She was just being nice. She also could have said that not on camera and not being recorded, and it would have not been a thing at all.
She didn't even ask a question, did she? She was just trying to tell Liam.
She was just being nice.
The one.
I mean,
but there's niceness, and then there's being you're the one, calling him Neo from the Matrix.
Maybe he is the one. He got the Jaguars in the playoffs,
and then he got beat by a lower seed that stunk.
Oh no, I don't really watch that much football.
They have Josh Allen. I mean,
yeah. Now you're a Josh Allen fan.
No, I want the Bills to play the Patriots so that the Patriots can be the ones to knock out the Bills. So that's what I want. Justin Herbert, fraud, just as advertised. He was absolutely atrocious. He was stuck on 93 yards with 5 minutes left.
Yeah, but he's getting blasted. His offensive line, I saw the PFF rankings is 40 out of 40. Some of the worst offense.
PFF doesn't know. They're ranking. Everyone treat them like gospel. They're just guys who don't know what the coaches are coaching them to do and just make up their own grading system.
I so enjoy when you get into NFL mode because I'm always the dumb basketball fan, and as soon as we switch sports, you turn into the dumb football fan.
I'm not the dumb football. I know what PFF is. I know what they do. It bothers me. It bothers me how much respect guys that chart out things. And look, they chart it out. They do more than almost anybody else does. But they don't know what guys are coaching them to do. They don't know who really makes a mistake on any given play, and then they act like they do. And that bothers me a little bit.
The second thing that really grinds the gear of any beat reporter is a beat reporter who thinks they know more ball than the coaches.
No, who thinks they know more ball than they actually know. That's what's bothersome.
And then try to ask fancy ass questions to display their ball knowledge. All right. Anything else, Jay King? Anything you want to get off your chest? This is your forum.
I just want to let the people know that I'm a kind-hearted gentleman.
You were screaming. You were counting at a man playing pickup to make free throws just last weekend.
I was trying to improve his free throw shooting for future games.
It was a benevolent act, I'm sure.
I wanted to fucking win, man.
So you're a kind person, unless it comes down to competition, then you're cutthroat.
No, I mean, you should see if you want to just look at pure hatred all day, just look at my Twitter mentions. It has been people calling me every word in the book for 24 hours. I must have got stuck in the
You got in the algorithm, yeah.
Because what I said was inflammatory.
Oh, shocking.
And then I got stuck in the algorithm, and then people were taking screenshots of the worst photos ever taken of me and talking about how ugly I am. And one guy said my mom should have swallowed me.
Oh, that's an old school playground dish. That is.
Yeah. Well, first he said my mom's pathetic, and then I responded that she's a great woman. And then he said she should have swallowed me.
There's no going.
I don't know why I was going back and forth with guys.
Because you do this once a month,
I'm
Jay.
I'm the Kevin Durant of sports writers.
No chill.
Sometimes I just love getting in the mix.
You love getting into the mix. You do this once a month with an inflammatory tweet, and that's why I think you know what you're doing, even though you deny it this time.
And the funny thing is, that, like, for the most part, everybody who hates me so much, if we actually had a full conversation about it, they'd probably be like, yeah, we feel kind of similarly.
Yeah, but you were probably just came out real inflammatory at the
I
start.
came out pretty hot. I always come out pretty hot, and then we get places later on. And
Does it ever make you think? Do you ever reflect like maybe I shouldn't be so reactionary initially, or you love?
it's Twitter. It's Twitter.
I'm just asking
Like,
questions. I'm not criticizing here, Jay. You don't have to. You don't have to be
my
so defensive.
thing, and what I think a lot of people could work on, and it took me a while to get here, is like, I don't care what you think of what I do. I don't care how what I say makes you feel about me, because if you don't understand my whole point, I truly don't care. I don't have to explain it to you. I don't have to care that you don't know my whole point. I don't have to care that you think I just hate women or women in the press or whatever you think because of what I tweeted. Like, none of those things are true. And
As someone who's known Jay for 10 years, I would say all of those things are true based on his tweets. And so, anyone who attacked him, you can use this clip. You are correct.
it was the Schefter thing. It wasn't even her. It was the Schefter thing. Like, have some respect for the journalism industry. Have some respect for the press conference, man. I sound like such an asshole.
You got to respect the craft.
And then it was so funny because even like John Krasinski, who's my colleague, my buddy, like, he was on there like, man, it's so lame. People talking like this. And I was like, man, be your own people sometimes. And then some of the reaction was it's that really took the world by like, Twitter was just divided. At least the people that I follow were just in shambles. And then other people were in shambles about the shambles. And then the people were in shambles about the shambles about the shambles. And nobody got anywhere. Everyone was just mad.
You're saying that the Twitter conversation wasn't productive? That's shocking to me.
No, it didn't get anywhere, and people were just infuriated. But people do hate sports writers for some reason.
Well, yeah, you guys are
Like, and
living their dream.
No, that's not it at all. They think we're useless. And like Pat McAfee. Did you see Pat McAfee's tweet?
No.
He blasted sports writers, like, absolutely shitted on all sports writers. Said he was like, it was really a wild tweet. And it's like, brother, what do you think your show would be if it wasn't for the people who are beat writers getting all the storylines that you talk about every single day? What do you think would happen if we didn't exist? You would be nothing. You never would have been anything.
So your
show would have been dog shit. You would have been talking about nothing. So, shut up. Like,
when we started this podcast, did you know you're going to do 20 minutes on this?
He also said in the middle of his rant that sports writers want, like, sports to fail. Like, what are you talking about? This is our jobs. Like, no, we don't want sports to fail. We just want a little bit of professionalism at our jobs, which you certainly know nothing about. That is one thing Pat McAfee absolutely knows nothing about, is professionalism at work. But man, it was a wild ride in my mentions, and just kind of a wild ride online.
That's what you do when you're online. To recap, Pacers win 98-96 over the Boston Celtics.
He said, we as a society have to stop taking these particular humans seriously. Their opinions.
Was he talking about you, or they're talking about the lady who asked the question?
Destroy sports. Like, what are you talking about? We're sports writers. What are you talking about? We want to destroy sports. We just want a little professionalism in the press conference.
It's all about professionalism in the press conference setting. Just need to raise your hand. The media man will pass you the microphone.
Fun. And I know fans, like, it probably, even the listeners that we have, are probably just like, shut up, Jay. Like, none of this matters. And it's true. Like, I don't expect you to care. I don't expect anybody to care. And I think it's totally natural for people not to care. And I think it's natural for people to be irritated by people like me being irritated in the first place, which is fine. And that's okay. I love you all.
I love you all too. Appreciate you guys.
And I'm not
tuning
trying
in.
to destroy sports, just for the record. There will be no destroying of sports from me.
I'm just going to have you close the podcast because I tried to end the podcast 15 minutes ago, but you needed to get this off your chest.
We love you all. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Oh, well done.
Steel bottle, steel bottle. The Boston Celtics, steel bottle, steel bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Slow down from eating and drinking and all that wild stuff.